Wow, week two ended with a little bit of everything for you guys, and I have to say how impressed I was to see everybody not let a little bit of sleet and snow, no matter what region you're training in. We've got folks again in Calgary and Squamish and Vancouver and all throughout the interior, as well as our group here in Kelowna, and everybody was sort of hit with different weather variants and sort of different obstacles this weekend, and it was really motivating to see how everybody worked through that and worked together and kept their goals in the forefront and pushed through those obstacles this weekend. Obviously, everybody was at a little bit of a different angle this weekend. Some of you were working on building your endurance on your single day run. Some of you were doing back-to-back runs, and some of you were doing a back-to-back run with a vertical challenge. And no matter where you sort of fell in terms of your goals and what you were following this weekend, I just want to say how impressed I am with everybody's hard work and again your commitment and your dedication, but also what a great job everyone's doing of celebrating one another. And I know it can be hard sometimes in a group to think that either I'm not doing enough or I need to do this way or that way. And I think that this is what kind of brings us back to our three main goal focuses for this clinic. And the first one, which is your goals, your way. And I love how everybody's staying in their own lane. And the other one, know what's important to you. You know why you're doing what you need to do without comparing to what other people are doing. And lastly, the recommit. So getting up and knowing that even though we've done a good job this past weekend or on this past Wednesday, that we need to celebrate that and feel good about it, but we also need to mentally stay focused to recommit to the next workout and the next workout and the next workout. So I'm just really, really impressed. I really love how the flow is going so far with this clinic. To that note, I also want to speak a little bit about some of the things that might be going on behind the scenes that aren't as obvious and that people, again, aren't so maybe open to sharing. And I'll use myself as an example because it's okay to throw myself under the bus publicly. But so for example, I woke up on Tuesday after the long weekend and I felt really tired. So I took the day off. And then I woke up on Wednesday and I still felt really tired. So I'm like, oh, I'll just take the day off. And then by yesterday, I still hadn't recreated. I hadn't done one workout. I was feeling run down. I was feeling a little bit burnt out and I had a lot of fatigue. I was just really, really tired last week. So again, the reason I'm sharing this with you is because I want to lead by example, and I want to set an example for any of you that might need motivation, whether you're questioning if you're having those weeks. I know that it's hard. So for example, I'm now on a build week while most of you will be on a rest week. But I want to acknowledge that there's people that your goals, your way means that it's okay for us to fluctuate. We talked about this last week before I even knew that that's how I'd be feeling. The focus was, let it evolve, that we need to sometimes not be so rigid with our training and to sort of expect the unexpected and be willing to adapt. So I'm just sharing my story with you guys because I want you guys to know that it's not unexpected for these things to happen. There's not just one way to train for things, and that there's always ways to get around and adapt. So with that, as we move forward, I always like when we come through a rest week, I always like to encourage you guys to sort of just slow down a little bit, take a brief look back. Don't spend too much time looking back, but sort of assess some of the things that have worked for you in the past 2 weeks of your training. Are there some lingering things that you just can't shake out of that noggin that are bringing you down? Again, you got 10 things going on in your training. 8 of them you're knocking out of the park. 2 maybe aren't going so well. And are you getting hung up on those 2 things? Well, decide, are those 2 things realistic? Can you change those things moving forward in the next 2-week block? You just need to accept that maybe those things are going to carry forward again, and your energy is better spent focusing on the 8 things that you are doing well. Maybe some of you did your Sunday check-in again. Maybe you're getting in the habit of Sundays just checking in and sort of just being present from week to week. I just want to speak to that. However you're doing that and however that works for you, I want you guys to encourage you to continue doing that. Because we're going into a rest week for the majority of people, whether you are resting this week or not, the information that I'm going to talk about, I'm going to follow the actual training layout. You can re-watch this video on your rest week if you need to. But obviously, you guys, the last 2 weeks, for example, all that training is what makes us stronger. And the kicker is I know it's difficult for a lot of people in a rest week to then suddenly go from go to just letting some of that volume and some of those intensities go. But if you don't prioritize your rest and recovery this week, all that hard work is going to be for nothing. And instead of building up your performance and your endurance and your strength and your speed, you're going to tear yourself down. So things like illnesses, injuries, plateaus, you might start to underperform. Again, additional fatigue. Some of those things can come down to a lack of proper rest in some instances. So I think that the one thing that I've really encouraged from the beginning of this year, even in the winter clinic, was during your rest weeks is to prioritize on sleep. Go to bed an hour earlier, even if you're reading in bed. Try to find ways that you can catch up on your sleep and prioritize a nap if you can, or just lay on the couch for 15 or 20 minutes and close your eyes and just rest. Some of that is a little bit of placebo, but obviously when we sleep, we release that growth hormone and it's very healthy for us. So the last thing I want to say about rest week before I go into sort of the little check mark is to remember that your rest week is intended to be a consolidation week. It's supposed to allow time for your body to catch up. So the goal isn't to add fitness back into the bank this week, okay? It's to make sure that you get really well recovered so that starting Monday, you're ready to put the efforts in for the next building week. So don't cut yourself short. Don't try to cram in a bunch of extra volume or teeter on that side of, I cannot not run today. I have to go and do, you need to be accountable then, okay? You're accountable for your outcome. And when you show up on Monday and based on the first 2 weeks of this clinic, what's going to be required from you, you really want to make sure that you're taking the time this week, getting extra rest. So reduce your volume by at least 50%. If you're following the training plans, that's sort of already done for you, but you can adapt that. You might need to still take an extra day off if you need it. Focus on more sleep. Make time for foam rolling, yoga, book massage appointments. Be proactive with your maintenance and your self-care recovery, okay? Don't reduce your running volume, but then increase your cross-training volume. So a lot of people in a rest week go, okay, well, I'll just reduce my running volume by 50%, but I'm going to increase my cross-training by 75%. So know that that's not really a rest week. You want to try to strike that balance there. And then be accountable, use your training log. Again, make adaptations that make sense for you, and don't focus on what other people are get drawn into, what other people are doing. Know what's important to you and know why it's important to you. For the performance section and part of your challenges for week 3, I have posted a link to the SOS, which is the Secrets of Success for Endurance Fueling by Hammer Nutrition. You all need to read that manual from start to finish this week to earn your check mark, along with the other things. So doing the Wednesday and the Sunday workout. I want you to read that SOS. You can buy it for $1 on Hammer Nutrition, or I put the downloadable link. But that is part of your check mark for week 3, to read through that manual from start to finish. I also did a short little video for you on hamstring recovery after building all that in volume this week. In particular, those of you that were focusing on vertical challenges, we're all going to be doing some vertical work at some point. And those hamstrings, sort of that posterior chain, a lot of the muscles, they're lengthening. It's called an eccentric contraction. So it's responding a little bit differently. And I know that this little hamstring recovery technique works really well for me. So I've done a short video for you guys on that. The other thing I want to just bring to your attention is I took some time and I've uploaded a bunch of the performance videos on the website in one area. So all of like ankle mobility, hip mobility, to goal setting, to band work, a bunch of the videos that we've done in the winter clinic, a little bit from last year's clinic, I've kind of consolidated them into one area on the blog now. So you guys can use those as freely as you want. I'll always put the most current challenge video at the start. So the very first video will be the current weekly challenge video, and then they'll just go from there that you guys can access as you want to. The hashtag I decided for this week is going to be enjoy where you are now. So hashtag enjoy where you are now. And while I always encourage you guys to do a little reflecting, decide how you want the next week to look, those sorts of things, I don't want you guys to spend too much time looking too far back or get hung up on those things. And I really, for this week, want you guys to be present and to try to focus on the current moments that are right before you. So, sort of start channeling those thoughts to what you need now. What do you need in this moment? Have I drank enough water? Do I need to lay down on the couch and have a nap? What sort of things can you do so that you're staying present in the moment and to enjoy where you are now? I think it's important to celebrate all the work you've done and take your rest this week. and or dust yourself off and accept where you are starting and recommit today if you're like me and you had a bit of a bummed week, okay? So hashtag enjoy where you are now. Let's focus on being present this week and enjoying each little moment along the way and not fretting over what's to come or dwelling on where we came from or spending too much time looking back. It's Erin Jackson and Natalie McNamara's birthday this week, so please help me in wishing these two amazing friends of ours a happy birthday. It's rest week, so maybe this week you guys will get out for a short adventure, or maybe you'll get to sit on a deck with a gin and tonic and soak up your birthday. Either way, we're going to be thinking of you. We're going to be sending you wishes. We love you gals lots, and we're sending you all the best for your birthday. The training for this week is under a separate video. You can access that. And I'm going to leave this long week 3 video with a few little reminders. We're focusing on more sleep this week, on enjoying where we are now, being present. And I really want to just remind you guys, don't blow all the hard work that you've done in the past 2 weeks by overdoing it or riding the fine line this week. Rest means rest. So take it, make sure you're accountable, and that you're showing up on Monday ready and rested to take on the next 2 weeks of training. I'm proud of you guys. Keep up the good work. And if anybody needs anything, you know I am just an email, text, or a phone call away.